Hey fam bam, what's up? It's your girl Santina and I'm back with another video. So I hope all is well with each and every one of you on today. I pray that you had an amazing weekend. For those of you that went to church today, I hope you had a great church service and the pastor gave you an amazing life-changing word. Amen. Amen. So today I wanted to come and tell you guys about, give you a little bit of updated information concerning my eye doctor visit with my glaucoma specialist. For those of you who did not see the last video, I went to my glaucoma specialist and I ended up finding out that my pressure on my eye that I just had surgery done in, which is my left eye. I just had a shunt put in my left eye about a month ago. And well, a little over a month ago. It's actually, a little over a month ago, almost a month and a half ago. And it turns out that my pressure is kind of slowly creeping up. It's not where it was dangerously high, but it is kind of trying to creep up a little bit. So my glaucoma specialist took a look and saw that there was some gel that we all have in the back of our eye. We have gel in the back of our eye, then we got fluid in the front of our eye, and then there's a lens that we have that separates the fluid from the gel. And I don't have that lens because I had to have it surgically removed. So the shunt is in there, but somehow the gel in the back of the eye is starting to clog up the shunt. So the shunt is not able to work and do what it was placed there to do, which is to help drain the fluid from the front of my eye, right? So my glaucoma specialist recommended me to see a retina specialist, which the retina specialist is the one who would actually do the surgery of unclogging the shunt. So I did go to see a retina specialist on Tuesday. You guys, today is Sunday. I'm so late doing this video, but I had, a couple things going on this week, and it kind of pushed me back from doing the video. So please forgive me. But yes, I did go to see the retina specialist on Tuesday, and she did confirm that the gel in the back of my eye was clogging up the shunt that was placed in my eye to help to drain the fluid in the front of my eye. So I need that fluid to be drained because with glaucoma, instead of the fluid being able to drain properly, it kind of builds up, and then it creates pressure in your eyes. And when that pressure is not able to be released properly by the fluid draining, then it causes your pressures in your eye to be high or to be elevated. And then when that happens, it can cause you to lose vision. So basically my whole life I've had glaucoma. So this keeping eyes on my pressure, keeping an eye on my pressure, and me taking different eye drops and having, a couple surgeries throughout life is pretty normal. But with my left eye has always been my good eye. I've never had any real surgeries done to it. I've had a couple little minor laser surgeries done, but no major surgeries where, I had to be, you know, put to sleep and then they go in and do some stuff. I haven't had to have that done with my left eye, except, of course, when I had cataracts when I was younger. That I know of. That's the only major surgery that I've had done to my left eye. But my right eye, I've had trouble with getting my pressures down. So I've had a couple things done, a couple different surgeries done for them to put things in place in my eye to help drain the fluid. And now my right eye is doing pretty good. It's functioning like it's supposed to. But now my left eye started to act up with the pressure, so they had to put the shunt in there, which I have one in my right eye as well, and it's doing well. It's doing what it's supposed to do. But with this left eye, for some reason, this gel that's in the back of my eye is kind of moving towards the front and is causing a clog in the shunt. So the retina specialist has to go in there to unclog the shunt from, the gel clogging it up. And hopefully after that, there shouldn't be any more issues. I haven't had any more issues with my right eye. So after they unclog it and get it cleaned up around there, I should be fine. Or I should say, I will be fine. I know I will. So, yes, that's the surgery that they have to do. It's pretty much going to be the same um, process as the previous surgery, the surgery where they put the shunt in. So they're going to go in, but instead of having to implant something there or to put something there, they're just cleaning around the shunt that they put in there. So that's the only difference. I have to go through the same anesthesia, which the anesthesia that I had, they put you to sleep in the beginning because they have to give you a pain, some pain medicine to numb your eye, and it makes everything numb. Your eye numb, this side of your face numb, your head numb on the whatever side, which will be my left side. The back of my head is numb. Like I could feel everything was numb after that surgery. So yeah. So they put you to sleep because the medication that they give you to numb you is very painful and you don't want to be awake for that. So they put me to sleep, but through the surgery, I want to say when I woke up, I believe the doctor was almost done. He was nearing the end of the surgery. So you do wake up while the surgery is going on. And I know some people, when I told them that, they're like, what? You just wake up and the doctor is still inside your eye doing whatever they do? Yeah. And, for some reason, when you're going through that, like I woke up, this is my third surgery where I've had this same type of anesthesia. So it's like you wake up, you're laying there, you're not waking up startled like, oh my gosh, what's happening? What are you doing to me? You're not waking up like that. You're aware of what's going on. The doctor is there doing surgery on your eye. You already know what to expect because they've already told you, you know what I'm saying? So you're fine with it. That's the only thing. You don't, because you don't feel anything. So it's like you don't panic. You just like, oh, okay, the surgery's going on, whatever. Shoot, I was talking to my doctor and everything. I asked that man to arch my eyebrows. So it's like, the medication, I guess it keeps you calm and it keeps you in a state of, everything's okay. There's no worries, but you're well aware of what's going on. You're able to talk. You're able to respond to people. You're in the operating room. You just woke up and the surgeon and the doctor is still working on your eye or whatever. Everything that's going on. You're not drowsy. You're not, all over just like in and out of consciousness or nothing. No, you just woke up like, hey, doc, you still up there? Oh, okay. And then you just lay there and I don't know how to explain. It's something you would have to really go through to really understand it because people are like, girl, there is no way I could sit there knowing I'm waking up and I know my eye doctor is inside of my eye or inside of whatever they're working on. They got you cut open. But it's like, I don't know. The medication, it just, you don't feel weird. You don't feel like high or anything like that. You just normal. Like you just woke up and that's it. But yeah, you just don't panic. You can hear everything. I don't know. But yeah, maybe some of you have had that. I can't remember what the anesthesia is called, but it's like a partial anesthesia where they just, you sleep for a minute, a little while, and then you end up waking up while the surgery's going on. I know that sounds crazy and scary. Like, there's no way. No, you better keep me asleep. That's how you feel. But when it happens, it's okay. I don't know how to explain it. I can understand people who feel like there's no way I could do that. I understand that because it sounded crazy to me too, but I had to do it. And when I did it, it was okay. You know, all I can say is when it was time for me to get up and walk, my legs were pretty heavy. That's really the only like side effect that I really had with the surgery. And I think it only took like an hour for the surgery to take place. So it's not like I was laying there for a long time, but I think that's just kind of a side effect of, the surgery. Your legs feel real heavy kind of walking. But yeah, it's all right, And the only thing that I don't like about the surgery, that medication that I said I had to take, um I'll show you guys the bottle. But yeah, if you've been watching the videos and you saw my last surgery, because I documented everything, if you saw that, then you know that one of the medications that I had to take, one of the eye drops, it was just a terrible side effect. Like I had like some kind of substance, and I know it's from the drop because it's white, like the drop forming all around the bottom of my eye, my eyelashes, all in the corners of my eyes. And I constantly had to wipe it all throughout the day from the time I got up in the morning to the time I went to sleep at night. So I had to have a clean washcloth with me at all times to keep cleaning my eye all day. And it was terrible because if you're cleaning it with water, it's like once it dries, then the outside of your eye is dry. So then that stuff starts forming all over again. The inside of my eye was not dry. It's just all around the outside of my eye. It was terrible. I even took pictures and I wanted to show my eye doctor and everything, but I have to take that medicine again, you guys. And I told them about it. I said, I really don't want to take this medicine because, it wasn't the surgery that bothered me. It was the eye drop that bothered me. You know what I'm saying? Like the surgery went okay. The recovery part of the surgery, it was okay. The only thing was, you have stitches in your eye. So it constantly feels like something's in your eye. So you keep your eye closed. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you do have something in your eye, you can't open it. But it's the stitches, like, the stitches that are in there, so you keep it closed so your eye is not constantly watering. And it literally took like almost a month for those stitches to completely dissolve. So yeah, but that wasn't as that wasn't as much of a pain in the butt or a pain in the eye, I'll say, as having to take that eye drop. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I don't want to have to do it again. But they told me, just try it because it is the best medication. Um, it's basically a steroid, and it helps to heal your eye. After surgery, my eye is really red because of, you know, them cutting into my eye and doing everything that they had to do. So the eye is really red, and the drop that they give me is called prednisolone. The drop, it really it does help with the healing process. And I noticed that if I don't take it, then my eye does hurt a little more, and it's a little irritated. So it's like I had to take it. I have to take it, knowing the side effects, knowing that I'm going to be suffering with my eye feeling and looking the way that it did. So yeah, that really sucked. And I have to take it again. My husband, he takes it every day. That's one of his eye drops that he takes every day, and it doesn't bother him like that. But for me, they said that maybe it's because of the other drops that I take. Maybe it doesn't go well with the other one of the other drops that I take. Maybe that's why it's such an issue. But I have to take those too because I got to keep the pressure down. I can't just stop taking my eye drops. So it's like I can't win. I have to take this medicine, and I have to take my other eye drops too. So it's like They said, or either it could have been a bad batch that I got. And I'm like, well, that's not good, you know. But I told her I'll try and take it. And if I have any issues, then they said they can look into something else that I can possibly take. But I'm like, well, shoot, I'm telling you what I suffered through. So why don't you just give me the other option? But I know this is the best. The prednisolone is the best drop for healing when you have eye surgeries. So I try it. You know what I'm saying? I will try it. Um, they had me take like a drop that, you know, is for dry eyes, but that didn't help because it wasn't that my eyes were dry. It was that I got this stuff that's coming out of my eye and it's drying up all around my eye, and it makes it really hard and crusty. I'm sorry if that's too much information, but it hurts. You know, it hurts all in the corner of my eye because I got this dry stuff all inside in the corner of my eye, all around the bottom of my eye, and in the outer corner of my eye. That stuff is painful. So it's like that stuff was so bad I wanted to cry some days, like, please, I need this to stop. You know, it was terrible. I was miserable just from taking that drop. Forget the surgery. The surgery was okay. It was the drop that was really. So we're going to see what we can do this time. I'm going to try and take it. And if that starts to happen, then I'm going to call them people right away. Like, hey, I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I'm not taking this drop. Y'all, you're going to have to find something else because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going through that again. I went through that for a whole month, you guys. That was terrible, man. So I don't want to go through that again. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do have my surgery coming up. I met with the doctor, with the retina specialist. They had to take some pictures of my eye, well, both of my eyes, with two different machines. So I had to go through that. I had to go through taking pictures, and they looked at my eye a couple of times, and you know, it was good. It was good. I'm not complaining about my visit. I'm glad they did everything that they needed to do to prepare me for the surgery. So my surgery is on Wednesday, guys. I don't know exactly what time. They should be calling me tomorrow to let me know what time my surgery is going to be. But you know, I don't like the fact that they wait so late to call you. You knowing you need a ride home. You can't drive, even if, you know, I can't drive anyway. But, you know, for patients who can drive, and even for patients who can't drive, you have to have someone to take you. So it's like, hey, I won't know what time I need you to take me until Monday, and then my surgery is on Wednesday. So it's like, and then if your surgery time cuts into something that they have to do, then it's like, hey, you won't know until Monday if you need to find another ride or if that person will still be able to, you know. It's crazy. I don't know why they wait so late to tell you. They just need to go ahead and find out, figure it out, at least by Friday or Thursday. I saw the lady on Tuesday, so you guys couldn't have it together by Thursday. And then, you know, I could get my ride set in stone, and then that way they know what time they need to either get off of work, or say, you know, my son, he had to work. He wouldn't be able to call off at a certain time until Monday for Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know, I don't like giving people such short notice. If I can know as soon as possible, I will let them know as soon as possible. But I guess Monday is as soon as possible. So, but thankfully for me, my son is off on Wednesday, so I don't have that issue this time. But I could have, you know, and I have had in the past. But you know, so my surgery is Wednesday, time unknown. I'll let you guys know Tuesday when I come back to let you guys, hey, I'm preparing to go in for my surgery like I did the last surgery. And then I have to go for a follow-up visit on Thursday, you know, the day after surgery. You go back so that they can check to make sure everything that they did in the surgery is still intact, everything's still good. Then they check my pressure to see if the shunt is clear and working, right? And then I have to go back next week, Wednesday, for my next follow up, for them to um, check my pressures and check to make sure it's not clogged, and then after that I go back to my regular glaucoma specialist. So that's what's going on there. Glaucoma appointment after appointment, so hey, it's the what it takes. I got to do whatever it takes, right? We got to take care of our eyes. We got to make sure that, we're doing what the doctor said, and also make sure that we're prayed up and, you know, have faith and believe that God is going to heal us all at the same time. So, that's what's up. That's what's going on in my life, you guys. So, I just ask that you keep me in your prayers. I'm going to still do my best to try and record as much as my surgery preparation like I did last time. And then after surgery, I'll get back with you guys and let you know how everything went. And, I'm just taking you guys along on the journey. I appreciate everybody who's been keeping me in your prayers. I appreciate everyone who's been commenting and sharing your story, because I'm thankful for all of our subscribers. I'm also thankful for the ones who don't mind, coming out and sharing your story in the comments. Is greatly appreciated. It can be very helpful to others, and it can also be educational for others as well. So I appreciate you guys for, stepping into the comment section and sharing your story. It's amazing. I'm grateful and thankful to know that, there are other people who understand what I'm going through. And even as you share your story, I can pray for you, pray for your healing. So thank you guys so much for sharing. But I guess, oh wait, it was something else I wanted to say. So the retina specialist told me that she asked me, did I wear glasses? I told her no, I'm not wearing glasses. And then she asked me, the reason why she was asking me is because she said that they can possibly, it can be a risky surgery and it's a very intense surgery, but they can possibly put a lens in my eye, and it will be as if I'm wearing glasses or contacts, but the lens would be, implanted in my eye. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that surgery, but I was told that, hey, they can do that, and in that way it can help my vision. It doesn't take away the glaucoma. No, I will still have to be able to have my fluid draining properly. That's the main thing, but at least I would be able to see as if I'm wearing glasses, but the lens would be implanted in my eye. But she said she does not want to really focus on that right now, because of the intense surgery that it is. But they would still keep it open as an option, just to see if maybe one day, hey, that can be a possibility. So I'm like, okay, I would definitely talk to my glaucoma specialist, and, that way I can get a little more information. He can give me the proper name of the surgery. That way I can do a little bit of research myself, and also if anyone has had this surgery, or if their doctor has mentioned it to them or talked to them about it, I would appreciate it if you would put it in the comments. Give me a little information, give me a little knowledge about it, and then that way I can bring it to my glaucoma specialist and we can talk more in depth about it. And just see, because they got all kinds of stuff out here, you guys. Some things can just be a little risky, and then other things, it might work or it might not work. You know what I'm saying? So be sure, just talk to your glaucoma specialist about these different things. And if you have glaucoma and you've never heard of this, ask your glaucoma specialist about it. Maybe he or she can give you more information, just like I'm getting ready to talk to my specialist about it and see if he can give me more information as well. And then I'll bring it back to you guys. Whatever I gain or learn from it, I'll bring it back to you guys. But for now, we're just going to focus on getting this shunt unclogged and getting these pressures back down. My pressure in my left eye when I went there, I believe, was 18. I mean, my right eye. That's not the one I'm having surgery on. The right eye is okay. So it's down to 18, which is good. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything that causes any alarm. You know, the specialist is just like, okay, that's good because they see it climbing down. So maybe next time when I go back, it'll be even lower. But I say between like, mm, I think between like 10 and 20 or something like that. If it was down to at least 15, then my glaucoma specialist would be like, okay, that's really good, you know. But it can get even lower than that, but they don't want it to get too low. So, and my left eye was at 28. So, that one started kind of going up. It's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be lower. I think it was at like 15 after the surgery. And then it started going lower, like it went almost too low. I think it was at like 8. And then my glaucoma specialist was like, okay, you're going to have to stop taking, I think it was there was another drop that I took. I can't remember the name of it right now. My husband also takes that drop, but it was causing my pressures to go too low. So I had to stop taking that eye drop and just take the prednisolone as well as my glaucoma drops. But then it started going up and now it's at 28. So it's like, okay, yeah, the drops are not working right now because the shunt is clogged, you know. So we got to get that thing unclogged on Wednesday. We'll do that, and then I believe everything will be fine after that, you know. Once they get that all cleaned up and everything will be fine. And then once they have my pressures at a stable stage, then we could start talking about possibly some other things. So we'll see, guys. Thank you so much for coming along on my journey. My husband, he's got some things that he wants to look into, which he'll share with you guys about his eyes as well. So I believe he's going to have a glaucoma, not a glaucoma. My husband doesn't have glaucoma. But I believe he's going to be seeing his retina specialist here pretty soon. And then he'll kind of tell you the story about what he has going on, and what his retina specialist is going to do with him. So, all right, guys. So, yeah, just keep us in your prayers. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your love and support. I'm so grateful and so thankful for each and every one of you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I pray that you have an amazing week coming up ahead. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that post notification bell so that you will be notified whenever we post a video or whenever we go live. Thank you guys so much. We really love you, and we love sharing our story and sharing our journey with you. All right, okay, so until next time, I guess I'll see you guys on Tuesday with my next story. Or if I have something else that I want to share with you guys, maybe concerning something else, you'll probably see me before Tuesday. But my next glaucoma story will be possibly on Tuesday, the day before I head into surgery. All right, so I love you guys. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.